It's working. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. Hello everybody. Hello Instagram family. My name is Dr. Lahnor Powell. I'm here with Genova Diagnostics and I'm just doing a really quick kind of presentation on kind of some nutrition stuff, but I wanted to thank everybody for interacting with us, for tuning in daily on these live sessions with us. I hope you're picking up some really exciting and fun pieces of nutrition information as well as GI information, and I hope you're enjoying hearing from our diverse medical affairs team. Special shout out to all of my healthcare professionals and others who are really on the front line managing this pandemic. Our thoughts, our prayers are definitely with you and your family. I was talking with a doctor yesterday, and we were just discussing what was going on in our lives, and we started talking about the positives, and we started to notice that both of us were cooking more for our families, better, healthier, more quality, substantial meals. We were also exploring different vegetables and fruits that we haven't typically cooked with in the past. We were starting to feel more connected with the foods that we were making and feeling more connected with our family as well. And I really want to challenge everybody during this crazy time that we have going on right now. Think of something positive. Really prioritize your mental health as well as your physical health, and check in with your family members, check in with your kids, check in with those people in your friend circle. So today I wanted to follow up on Dr. Goldman's conversation, and he talked about organic acids, and I really wanted to go a little more in depth and talk to you about how do we arrive at nutrient cofactor recommendations from just looking at urine at these organic acids or biochemical intermediates. Now, all of my other colleagues started using props, and so I felt compelled that I also had to use some props. So what I did was I went into my toddler's bedroom and I borrowed a few essential items, a rectangle, a square, and an oval. So I hope she does not mind. So let's just think about what is a biochemical pathway. Biochemistry is basically always trying to take A and convert it into B. And it does this kind of process through using an enzyme. So basically, if the enzyme does not have the appropriate nutrient, vitamin, mineral cofactors, you're going to start to notice an accumulation of A within the body. And when we look at organic acids, when we measure it in the urine, we're looking for high amounts of A, which will then hint us into saying, you might not have enough vitamin mineral cofactors, and it enters that into an algorithm or a complex mathematical equation, and it uses all these other biochemical pathways we're looking at, and that's how we arrive at nutrient cofactor recommendations for our patients. So not only is it important to have adequate amounts of vitamin mineral cofactors for that particular enzyme to work, but there's a few things that can actually work against the enzyme, such as heavy metal exposures, genetics. So you might have a genetic defect in how an enzyme works, and so it just doesn't work quite right, and it also might lead to elevations of A in the urine as well. Also, medications used to treat various health conditions can also impact that enzyme, also leading to that accumulation in A. So let me give you a real live example. Let's actually look at the citric acid cycle in which we're trying to make energy, or the TCA cycle, depending on whatever you'd like to call it. So you take your macronutrients, your fats, your carbs, your proteins, and you convert it into acetyl-CoA, which is then, that's what we use to help make energy in the mitochondria through the TCA or the citric acid cycle. So one example I wanted to talk about was from your carbohydrates. So we have pyruvate, which we get again from our carbohydrates that we've already digested and absorbed. We now are able to make pyruvate through that process, and we convert it into what's called acetyl-CoA, which will then make energy through the citric acid cycle. And that process occurs with the enzyme pyruvate dehydrogenase complex. So this enzyme is very particular. It has a lot of different cofactors that it requires, including magnesium, for example, lipoate, B1, B2, even B3. And so if we don't have enough of those cofactors, what happens is you begin to see an accumulation of pyruvate measured in the urine. And that can help trigger us to say, oh, you need more of those particular cofactors. And so that's how you arrive at vitamin mineral cofactors for our micronutrient testing. Now, again, you can always look at organic acid testing through the organics or the optimal nutritional evaluation profile, which are both urine profiles. Especially in this Stay Safe Collect at Home initiative, these are profiles that can be directly drop shipped to your patients, and you can do telemedicine consults with them. But the other thing I really wanted to talk about was this enzyme is also very sensitive to heavy metals, certain ones, including mercury, arsenic, as well as antimony. So with presence of mercury, hi Stevie, how are you? One of my colleagues just joined us, that's so cool. With mercury, if you're exposed to it through like shellfish or seafood or even dental amalgams, sometimes we present with symptoms like paresthesias or numbness and tingling, also confusion and insomnia or difficulty with sleeping. If you're exposed to arsenic, such as in shellfish or seafood or pesticides, you might experience like a metallic taste in your mouth, chest pains, as well as intense thirst. And then with antimony, that can be found in like carpets as well as flame retardant textiles as well. And sometimes we'll get fatigue, or you'll just feel a little bit more tired, as well as muscular weakness or just kind of weakness in your muscle tissues. And so if we experience any of those kinds of symptoms, again, that can also negatively impact this enzyme, leading to an accumulation of pyruvate measured in the urine. Okay. Now, if you do suspect that your patient might have exposure to any of these heavy metals, there's a few things that I usually recommend at first. Number one, I usually recommend doing some kind of a screening environmental questionnaire, because we want to know, is it heavy metals as an issue, or maybe their issue might be something else, like maybe they had exposure to pesticides. I don't know. The screening questionnaire will help us to kind of iron that out. But if you suspect heavy metals, like say for example, they tell you, so when I was younger, I used to play with a little bubble in the thermometers, or if they told you that they've reinvented themselves and they work in their basement, a poorly ventilated area, and they refinish old antique furniture. Now we're concerned with lead. So if that's the case, then we do want to look at potential testing, especially if they're manifesting symptoms that could be due to toxicities of those environmental toxicants. Then we can consider things like the comprehensive urine element profile, the toxic element profile, to better understand how much of exposure do you have compared to somebody who might be considered healthy. So those are some options that you guys have to look at not only micronutrient testing, but also to do a little follow-up if you suspect heavy metal toxicities as well. So if you want to learn more information about supporting your patients, about telemedicine, about drop shipping things to your patients from our standpoint as a lab, please give us a call. If you want to talk to us and review one of the profiles, please give us a call, 1-800-522-4762. You can also go on our website, www.gdx.net, and find out more information. But I hope this helped clear up a little bit about what organic acids not only are from Dr. Goldman's talk, but also how does it provide recommendations? How does it lead to recommendations for micronutrients like your vitamins and minerals, and what might other considerations be, such as heavy metal exposures? Well, y'all have a wonderful day. I really hope next week I'm able to figure out this whole double live thing, but if I'm not, we're just going to have to do two things separate back to back every week on Thursday, because that's my day. Y'all have a wonderful day and stay safe.